it is Miss Karen. We are going to read a story about the mystery of the missing muffins. Okay. So, let's look at this. One morning, I, Sherlock Hemlock, the world's greatest detective, went to Mr. and Mrs. Mopple's market on Mulberry Street to get some muffins and marmalade. I marched past the milk, the melons, the mustard, and the maple syrup to the muffin shelf. But, much to my amazement, there weren't any muffins. "I came for muffins and marmalade," I said. "But there aren't any muffins." "Mercy me," said Mr. Mopple. "There was a multitude of muffins there only minutes ago." "Egad," I said. "The muffins were here and now they aren't? Most mysterious." I looked through my magnifying glass at the place where the missing muffins had been. "Maybe," I said, "you mailed the muffins by mistake. Or a mean magician turned the muffins into marbles and they rolled away. Or perhaps a million mice made off with the muffins because they want them for mattresses. Muffins make good mattresses." But Mr. and Mrs. Mopple hadn't been to the mailbox to mail anything that morning, and they hadn't seen any musicians or marbles or mice either. So I, Sherlock Hemlock, thought some more. "Just a moment," I said. "Magpies and monkeys like muffins. Have you seen any magpies or monkeys?" Mr. and Mrs. Mopple shook their heads. "What about moles or mallards or mules?" I asked. "They might like muffins." But they hadn't seen either of them either. What a muddle! Then Mrs. Mopple said, "You might ask Marvin Monster, who works for us." So I went to talk to Marvin Monster. "Marvin," I said, "have you been to the mailbox to mail anything this morning? Or have you seen any musicians, or marbles, or mice, or moles, or mallards, or magpies, or monkeys?" "No, sir," said Marvin, who was a most well-mannered monster. Now, I was more mixed up than ever, so I decided to go home and mull over the mystery. But as I made my way past the mushrooms, the mayonnaise, and the marshmallows, there laid a pile right next to the marmot were the missing muffins. "Eureka!" I shouted. Mr. and Miss Mopple and Marvin Monster came running. "I found the muffins," I told them. "They're right here next to the marmalade." "Of course," said Marvin Monster. "I moved them there myself. I think muffins go well with marmalade. Don't you, Mr. Hemlock?" "Zounds! Why didn't you tell me, Marvin?" "You didn't ask me about the muffins, Mr. Hemlock," murmured Marvin. "You asked me if I had been to the mailbox, or seen any musicians, or marbles, or mice, or mallards, or magpies, or monkeys." Feeling merry now that the mystery of the missing muffins was but a memory, I went home to munch on muffins and marmalade, and they did go very well indeed. The end.